Welcome to the next bloom. Happy New Year to all of you. Happy 2026. This is our year to perfectly align with our joy and our purpose, and I wish that for all of you. I'm Delia Farquharson, and this is the next bloom. This is a space for thoughtful conversations about the emotional and psychological transitions that come with midlife, retirement, and the seasons that follow long careers and full lives. Each episode of The Next Bloom is an invitation to slow down, to reflect, and to explore who we are becoming when life begins to ask different questions of us. Today's episode is called When Work Ends and Meaning Begins. So sit with that for a minute. When work ends and meaning begins. And this is a conversation for anyone who is standing on the edge of retirement, already living in it, or quietly wondering what life asks of us when the work we've done for decades no longer structures our days. Some of you spend your lives in offices, in classrooms, in administrative roles, organizing, managing, deciding, solving. Others of you worked with your bodies, maintaining buildings, caring for patients, cleaning, lifting, repairing, showing up early and staying late. Different kinds of work, but nonetheless a shared dedication to work. And when that work slows or ends, a common experience emerges. The question of success, of what success is, begins to change. So let's frame our central question. Because for much of our adulthood, success was actually visible. It had markers, a paycheck, a role or a title, a schedule, a sense of being needed in clear and measurable ways. And then, often quietly, sometimes chaotically, those markers begin to fall away. This episode explores what happens in that space. So, how do we redefine success when there's no promotion to work towards, no shift to cover, no title attached to our names? What does accomplishment feel like now? And how do purpose, peace, and joy begins to guide us in this next bloom of life? As you listen, I invite you to bring your own stories into the room. The work you did, the years you gave, the ways your body or mind carried responsibility. There is no single way to arrive here. There's only this moment and the meaning waiting to be shaped in it. So let's take a moment. Notice where you are as you're listening. You may be sitting at the kitchen table. You may be driving. You may be resting in a moment you once really had time for. However, or whatever you're doing, you're welcome here. So, let's begin the discussion on the many ways of working and the one shared experience. Because some of you spent your lives working in the offices. You managed the schedules, you solved the problems, you made the decisions, and you carried all this responsibility in your minds. Others of you cleaned, responded to emergencies, covered over messes, and often noticed what others passed by. But different work, same commitment. So So, whether your days were shaped by meetings or physical effort, work gave your day structure, identity, and a sense of being. When that structure changes, it can leave a quiet question in the mind. And we've asked this question before: who am I now? So, what happens when the noises fade? When the calendar opens up and the urgency disappears? I think most people expect to feel relief. And I guess relief does come. But there's also often something else: a restlessness, even a boredom, a wondering, a feeling that something familiar is missing. And even when life feels easier, you may notice moments of guilt when you rest. You may question your usefulness. You may feel unseen in ways that you did not expect. These experiences are typical. They are part of the psychological transition, and they tell us, they inform our minds and our bodies that identity is shifting, it's not disappearing. So, for those whose work was physical, the body has carried the years of service. There may be gratitude for rest and concern about strength and health. For those whose work was more cognitive or administrative, the mind may feel quieter. There may be a sense of spaciousness alongside uncertainty. Both experiences, however, ask for attention, and both experiences deserve respect. This phase invites listening to the body and the inner world in a new way. So, if success is no longer measured by productivity or endurance, what begins to matter? Many people discover that success now speaks in a softer voice. Purpose may show up through presence, through mentoring, through caregiving, through creativity or learning. It may feel less visible and more personal. Peace may arrive through steady mornings, fewer demands, and environments that feel regulating. Joy may appear in ordinary moments: connection, laughter, movement, or quiet satisfaction. These markers do not compete for attention. They are, however, growing with awareness. Accomplishment does not disappear when the uniform is put away or when the office door closes. It lives in the way you show up every day in your life with integrity. It lives in the wisdom you carry. It lives in choosing to care for yourself in a time when maybe you have significantly more time to do so, to care for yourself and to also care for those you love. This season invites you to act, to acknowledge what you've been given, and to allow life to meet you in a different place now. So I invite you to sit with these questions gently. What did my work shape in me? What feels meaningful now? When do I feel most like myself? What makes a day feel complete? I want you to pause, to take a breath or two, and let your answers come in their own time. Redefining success is a return to self. So whether your life's work was behind a desk or on your feet, it mattered. As we end today's conversation, I invite you to pause for a moment, to think about the work you've done across your lifespan, the hours, the effort, the care, and whether your days were spent behind a desk or on your feet, your contribution mattered. It shaped spaces, it shaped people, systems, and moments that may never have been fully materialized and may not even have been recognized, but they were deeply real. In this season of life, success is no longer something to chase, it becomes something to feel. It lives in purpose that feels authentic, in peace that settles into your body, in moments of joy that arrive without needing to be earned. The next bloom is not about becoming something new or someone new. It's about allowing what has already been there to emerge with more clarity and ease. I want to thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for bringing your story, your work, your lived experience into this space. If today's episode resonated with you, you might take a few moments after listening to notice what feels meaningful now and what your own definition of success is becoming. I'm Delia Farquharson. This has been The Next Bloom, and until next time, may this season meet you with depth, steadiness, and room to grow. Please like and share our podcast. I'm on Spotify, I'm on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on X, and on Instagram. Thank you for joining me.